For your narrative essay, there are some things that it has to include. So just real basic here, coming off of my document here. Your introduction serves as a preview for the remainder of your paper, conveying the necessary background information to your readers, identifying your topic, its significance, and unveiling how you'll organize your essay. And this will be a little bit different for the narrative essay. This information here in the red will be more for some of the essays that will come a little bit later, but your introduction does serve as a preview for the rest of your paper, and that is true with the narrative essay. So organization of your introduction, it's basically a logical organization, can be compared to the image of a funnel. That is, the introduction usually begins with a very general overview of your topic, or as in the case of the narrative, the background material, the situation, a little bit of the conflict, and then becomes more specific and narrowing down to the thesis statement. Typically, the thesis statement is the last sentence in the introduction. It may, however, come near the end of the introduction, and of course, technically, writing your thesis statement can be anywhere, but for the purposes of this class, your thesis statement will be the last sentence of your introduction. So let's just keep it simple that way. So that's some of the organization. So for the narrative, right here, your introduction will talk about the setting, the time, and the place. You'll think of an interesting hook to start it off with, an emphasis on your voice, how you talk, how you write. That's important. And then, of course, the background information. So again, your introduction should include the situation and the conflict within your introduction as well. So you don't have to cover every bit of background, because some of that can be saved for the rest of your regular essay for some of that information to be in, but you'll give some background material in your introduction. So, and we'll take a look at an introduction here in a second, but let's talk about thesis statements as well, since the thesis statement comes at the end of your introduction. The thesis statement basically establishes the overall point of your essay. It's like a road sign telling your reader where you plan to go, where you plan to take them, what's going to come up. It's a real small snippet to entice them to read the rest of your essay or whatever it is you're writing. So the thesis statement, is usually, again, to reemphasize this point, is at the end of the introduction. It often is expressed in one sentence, and again, for the purposes of this class, your thesis statement should be one sentence, though in future cases, just so you know, that sometimes it can be 2 or 3 sentences depending on the length of what you're writing. So, but again, the purpose of this class, your introduction, and your thesis statement for your narrative essay should just be one sentence. So for example, we have an example here of a thesis statement. Although we anticipated our class trip to the museum to be less than exciting, it was filled with unexpected challenges, surprising exasperations, and unfortunate personal tensions. So again, giving the reader a preview of what is to come, what's going to come in this essay. A class trip, unexpected challenges, unfortunate personal tensions, surprises. So again, it kind of leaves you hanging a little bit, makes you interested in like, ooh, what is coming next? So that's an example of a thesis statement. So an example narrative introduction is what we have right here. This is a student example that someone wrote. So let's take a look at this introduction here. So again, if you look at the first sentence here, we're taking a look at the very beginning of this introduction. It was June 5th, 1984, and I was in the middle of Africa about to embark on one of the greatest adventures of my life. So here you are, starting off your introduction for your narrative essay, giving us a little bit of background, giving us the situation, the year 1984, June 5th, where it's in the middle of Africa, and why is it important? It's one of the greatest adventures of my life. So notice how that starts off. This would be a good way for you to start off your narrative essay. And again, it continues here. My friends and I are riding in a 60-year-old school bus out in the middle of nowhere. I was 18 years old and had just graduated from high school, and it was the first time in my life parents weren't around to supervise me. So again, notice some more background information. What else do we find out here? We find out that the person is 18 years old, that they're riding in a 60-year-old school bus, that the person just graduated from high school, and also important, it was the first time in life that this person was not supervised. So again, another block of important background information. And it continues here. The driver steered the bus down the corrugated red mud road outside of Nigeria in the town of Ozel, with me and the rest of the people bouncing in the back. So again, some more background, telling you it's in a Nigerian town north of Lagos. So it's giving you more background, telling you that they're on a red mud road and that they're bouncing around in the back. So again, the next part here going on, finally he stopped on the side of the road next to the jungle, told us this was a stop. You know, the rainforest was dripping with humidity. Wraiths and mists wandered between the big trees. So again, more background information, situation. It's the jungle. We have a rainforest. It's dripping with humidity. We got off the bus and put on our backpacks. So again, this whole thing, this whole introduction is all situation. It's all background, telling your readers what is going on. So, and all of this leads up to your thesis statement right here at the end. So for example, the thesis statement now is, little did we know that our 6-day journey through the jungle was going to forever change the way we viewed life. So all this that came before it is built up for your thesis statement here. So we know it's a 6-day journey in the jungle, and why is it important? Well, it forever changed the way we viewed life. Obviously something is going to happen. So again, this is a very good introduction, and how you'd want to structure your introduction as well. It's not the only way, but it's one way that you could do it. Okay, so let's look at how this thesis is formed. A narrative thesis breaks down like this. The first part of a narrative thesis is going to give you the who, where, when situation of your thesis statement. And the second part of the thesis is the why this is important, the reason for telling the story. So it's almost like a formula, this thesis statement is. So for example, the above thesis statement here is now broken down into these two parts here, into blue and red. Little did we know that our 6-day journey through the jungle, that is this part here giving us the who, what, where, when, was going to forever change the way we viewed life. And that is the second part right here, the reason for telling the story, the importance of what is about to happen. So notice how this thesis statement is really broken down into two parts, the who, what, where in the blue, and the why it's important in the red. And that is exactly how I want you to structure your thesis statement for your narrative essay. That you should start off, we were driving on a country road in the middle of the country. Little did we know that this short ride was going to change our life. So again, you know, this is an example thesis statement, and this is exactly how I want you to structure it, like I have right here. So again, this is how you set up your thesis statement. So if there's any questions, of course, you can ask me in discussions if there's any questions about this, and I will also post the example introduction here in content. So all right, thank you for listening, and I will see you.